guys, welcome to another episode of MrLopezClasses.com. We are going to continue in our book of auxiliary systems. This is the chapter number 1, and in this episode, the second episode, we are going to talk about the rigging. But we are going to divide the episode in two sections. The first section is about rigging in sailboats and catamarans and trimarans. And the second section of this episode will be about rigging in airboats. For the first section, we are going to visit the facilities of Daciel Molina. He is a sailing instructor. He is located in Los Cayos, and we are going to try to understand how is the meaning of rigging in sailboats and rigging in catamarans. It's completely different, like the rigging in other type of power boat. And we are going to analyze the difference between static rigging and dynamic rigging or running rigging, and the material used for the cables. Today, the new technologies with the composite materials create wonderful cables, not in stainless steel marine grade, cables in nylon, carbon fibers, special materials. Those new generation materials are wonderful and are preferred today in rigging because it's less corrosion, less friction, and less maintenance. We are going to enjoy this episode. The first part, we are going to visit the facilities of Daciel, and the first question for Daciel is, Daciel, what is the main difference between static rigging and dynamic rigging?
Rigging, we have two types of rigging on a boat, typical boat. We have what we call standing rigging.
Standing rigging?
Yes, and running rigging.
Hey guys, standing rigging and running rigging. What is the main difference?
Well, standing rigging is like what I have right here. It's on modern boats, is usually stainless steel cables. And it's called standing, well, the way that it's easy to remember is standing rigging, because for the most part, there are exceptions, but for the most part is cables or things that are static, they don't move.
Correct.
And what they do is they're just holding up the mast. You know, they keep it stable, and they keep it from from falling down, which is definitely not good.
Correct.
So that's what we have in standing rigging. In the recent years, there's been a new type of standing rigging that's been used, and which is synthetic rigging, and it's
basically the material.
Yeah, it's not metal.
Oh.
It's more like a line.
It's a composite material.
Yeah, it's like a. There's a few different brands, like there's Dyneema, Spectra. There's a couple of different brands, and it basically looks just like a regular line, but it has a tensile strength of
similar or superior than the regular stainless steel.
Yeah. So it's pretty incredible, and it's super light. So you'll find it in high performance boats, and even people who are going out and cruising are starting to use it because we've noticed that it lasts a long time, and you can repair it anywhere.
Incredible materials, no stainless steel marine grade, with a Jones modules and tension module superior than the stainless steel.
Yeah, and you can have a roll, so if you need to change one of the shrouds, you can just do it anywhere in some island,
The secret is how you fix it, the terminals at the end of the cables.
Well, on those, what you do is you do a splice, just like you would do in a regular line.
Correct.
And then you have a turnbuckle, and then you have a smaller diameter,
like the
Dyneema.
picture that we have on the screen right now.
Yes. And then you have lashings that it's like a thinner line that goes from one loop to the other one.
To the other one, yeah.
And then you can tension it, and that's how you keep it tensioned. And then you just kind of do a nice little knot. Everything is knots.
I have a question. Is the tension on this cable and the diameter of this cable is according with the length of the mast, no?
Well, there's a lot of things that need to be taken into account.
In consideration.
First of all, what kind of boat? Multi-hulls and monohulls are very different.
Oh, really?
Yes. On a monohull, imagine if you look at here in a monohull, right? The mast, you have the mast here. So if you get a puff of wind, or the wind increases more than you were expecting, the whole boat
try to balance,
tilts over, and the wind spills over the sails.
Correct.
So it's kind of like a pressure relief valve.
Yeah, pressure relief.
And then when the wind comes down, it picks up again. On a catamaran, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, because the stability.
Yeah, you have two hulls, so the catamaran can heel. So usually on a catamaran, you need much tougher rigging, much thicker.
Yeah.
Because there is no that pressure relief. So the rigging has to hold everything.
It's double torque, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes even
For that
more.
reason, the cables are thicker than a regular monohull.
They are.
Oh, incredible. All right, those are static cables.
Yes.
And what about the running or dynamic cables?
Well, the running rigging is everything else on the boats, all the lines that are used to control the sails, either hoist them up or, when we're trimming, when we're sailing, all these lines keep the sails in the perfect angle according to the wind angle.
Correct.
So, the boat is able to sail. These kind of lines they have come a long way in the past couple of years. Again, we'll have some of that synthetic rigging, or it's also used for lines, especially on race boats, because it has very little stretch.
Yeah.
So on race boats, you want that, very low stretch lines. They're very expensive.
The quality is different.
But it's much different. I mean, and the loads that they can hold are just incredible.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the criteria to select those ropes?
Your pocket.
Is the budget basically?
Yeah, the budget and the use.
All right.
We can use it in boats like this and a regular boat, but honestly, it's a little overkill.
Yeah.
Regular good quality braided line is good enough.
Yeah.
On certain applications you want some of that synthetic rigging, synthetic lines, but for the most part, good quality braided lines is good enough.
What is the criteria to keep those lines in good condition?
Budget. Buy new ones when they go bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the sun eats up everything, especially
It's the enemy, no?
Yeah, especially down here in Florida. Darker colors will fade, but it's just, you're going to use them for a couple of years and then you're just going to replace them.
The color is an indicator when the cable is in bad condition.
Not necessarily. A braided line, if you look at this braided line, right?
Yeah.
There's actually two lines in here. What you're looking at is not the actual line. It's just a cover.
The cover, the line is internal. Like the picture
sleeve
that we have on the screen. Correct.
So once this cover starts to fray and you see the little hairs coming out,
the internal line is in good condition, probably.
It's still in good condition, but it's time to change the line.
Oh yeah, that's the indicator.
Yes, this is what's going to protect the line inside. And obviously, one thing to take into account is, especially on sailboats, where you have like the main sail and your head sail, once you put them up, right, there's a pulley or block on the top, where the line goes over, and it's always going to be in the same spot. So that area
is where
it's going to wear. So what you do is every once in a while you switch the line
in order to use other area of the
and then if you see that part is getting getting bad, just cut it and do a new splice and just keep using it.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. You are instructor of sailing. One part of the course is about the lines, about how to tension the lines, how to use the lines.
Yeah, that's basically one of your first courses. And it's included with everything else, your basic sailing course, because this is how you sail a boat.
Yeah.
You have a steering wheel, but a steering wheel or tiller is only part of it.
Yeah.
What's really most important is your sheets.
Yeah.
And your sheets are just your lines that control your sails. That's how you sail a boat. And that's basically part of sailing. We use winches, which gives you a mechanical advantage. Some are electric, if you're feeling a little lazy. If not, you have winch handle.
Okay, we are going to start to talk about the wincher.
Yeah.
How many type of winchers we have?
Oh, there's quite a bit of winches. Usually there's 2 speeds, 3 speeds, but for the most part it's 2 speeds.
2 speeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you see in here, it's in here we have gears, as you can see up here.
Yeah.
So the way that the winches work is, if you grab the handle and you go one way, you see the speed
that
the winch is going?
It's an sprocket, huh?
Yeah, so you're having a lot of mechanical advantage there, right?
Yeah, correct.
So if you go the other way, you see how it goes faster?
Correct, but less mechanical advantage.
Less mechanical advantage, but more speed.
Correct, correct. Like we explained in the previous episode about the theory about mechanical advantage.
Yes, and it's kind of like imagine like a bicycle where you have different gears.
Correct.
You know, on a low gear, you're going very slow, but it's easy to pedal going uphill.
Correct.
If you go to high gear, you're going faster, but it's harder to pedal. Same thing.
It's exactly the
Yeah,
same.
and believe me, when it's windy and you're winching, you're gonna feel what it's
The difference, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this is for both purpose, electrical and manual.
yes, the electrical is just a button, and
Correct.
it just turns. You know, it's just for lazy people, basically.
Correct. Okay.
So one thing about the winch is, as you can see, it only goes one side. See?
One side, yeah.
It turns one side, and then the other side doesn't.
It's locked. Yeah.
The reason for that is, let me get a line here. So when we put our lines, we put them clockwise like this, right?
Clockwise, always.
So what that means is, if you just put a little bit of tension here, this line is not going to go anywhere. So let's say this line is holding a sail in place, right? It's going to have a lot of load, but with one hand, just a little bit tension here, it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So let's say you need to bring the sail in, right? Or bring the line in.
Correct.
You give it a couple of wraps, and then this part up here is called a self-tailor. And the reason for that is, when you put it here, right?
You enter in the groove.
Yeah. And now you can let it go. And the line is not going to go anywhere.
Unless you activate the motor or not.
No, it's the motor is only going to bring it in like a winch.
All right,
It'll never come out.
Oh, nice.
So here you either put the electric motor to bring this line in, or you do it manually.
And you bring.
Yep. And then one way for more mechanical advantage, another way
For less mechanical advantage.
and more speed.
Excellent.
And then these guys are clutches. So the way that they work is, it's a one-way, kind of like a Chinese finger trap. So if you walk back here, see, if you put the clutch, it's locked on both sides. It won't go anywhere. If you open the clutch, then it's free. So these clutches, when you lock them, it just holds the line in place, doesn't let it come in either direction.
Correct.
And when you open it, the line is free to move.
Oh, nice. This is the process. Can you repeat the process to pass the?
Sure. So we get the line always clockwise, right? You want to give it at least 2 or 3 better turns, right? And here you can bring the line in.
Correct.
Right? And then if you need to hoist up the sail or trim the sail in, you put it in the self-tailor, right?
Okay.
Lock it. Then at this point you can let it go. And then you can put the winch handle, and then you can winch it in. Now, if you need to release the line, right? You take off the handle, you get it off the self-tailor, you get off another wrap, right? And then you just leave it like another, maybe 2 wraps.
A couple of wraps.
Yeah, and then still holding the line, you put your hand here, and then you just kind of let it out little by little.
Oh, nice.
And then it kind of, you release it whatever amount you need.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Nice. That's a great procedure. All right. This is basically with a dynamic
running rigging.
Correct. wonderful question for Daciel is, Daciel, can you explain the different type of sails depending of the boat, if the boat is a monohull or a double hull or three hull? How many type of sails are used on those type of boats? Daciel, this is a catamaran. How long is that catamaran?
This is 40 feet.
40 feet. In a catamaran like this, how many sails usually you have?
On this one, we usually have two sails. We have the main sail, which is the one back there, and then we have the head sail, which is this one up here in the front. Sometimes you have other sails to go downwind, but those are a little bit more specialized sail. These are your basic sails.
This is the most common.
Yeah.
No, the main sail and
your
the
head sail. The head sail has different names, but just for simplicity's sake, we're just going to call it the head sail.
Yeah, correct. And what about this?
Well, this is somewhat of a new development on designing of boats. The head sail on most modern boats are on what we call a roller furler, and this is a very neat piece of equipment, because what it does is it actually rolls up the sail, and you can just leave it here. And then with this line back here, this drum, when you pull the head sail out, it coils in this line. And then when you need to roll it back up, you pull the line, and it rolls up the head sail.
It's a nice design.
So this does a couple of things. Let me move over here. This does a couple of things. It's easy to bring the sail out and in, and actually refit. In other words, if it's really windy and you just want part of the sail out, you can just control it with the lines. So it's a very easy way of handling the sail. At least the head sail. There's other more traditional ways where you actually put the sail up and hoist it up, but on most days, if you look at the marina, most boats will have a head sail on a roller furler. It's just for convenience.
It's for convenience.
Yeah.
Because some years ago,
no, you just put the sail here and it goes flip in on this on the standing rigging, which is there's a cable in here, and then you just hoist it up and the sail comes up, and then if it got too windy, then you needed to bring that sail down, change it for a smaller sail, and then hoist it back up.
Yeah.
This one is not as performance oriented, but you can just roll it up and you have a smaller sail. It's not as efficient, but you get the job done.
In running conditions, what is the function of this sail when the boat is running in open sea?
In open sea, well, this sail and the main sail, they're working in conjunction. Basically, if you think about the wing of an airplane, right? It has one side is flat, on the bottom, on the top is curved.
It's curved, yeah.
And it gives you lift and picks up the whole boat.
And the sustentation. Yeah.
So when the sails are deployed, right, when you're going upwind, one side of the sail is going to be curved. So that's basically, imagine that as an airplane wing standing up. So you're going to have lift and it pushes the boat.
Correct. It's a great explanation. It's exactly the same. It's the same phenomenon like on the wings of the plane, but it's vertical.
Yeah, and that's when you're going towards the wind. If the wind is behind you, then it kind of acts like a parachute. You just open it up and the wind just kind of pushes you along. So it all depends on where the wind is coming from.
The secret in the sailing instruction is where is coming the wind.
Yeah, where the wind is coming from.
Yeah.
Wind awareness. That's one of the things that we teach our students. That's number one. You need to know where the wind is coming from.
In order to understand easily the procedure to tie those ropes and to tie those cables, it's important that we review quickly the theory about the pulleys. What is the meaning of pulleys, the type of pulleys, and what is the definition of mechanical advantage. You remember when we use the simple mechanical systems with the with the the extension and the fulcrum, and we calculate how much force I need applied at the end in order to lift that way. That's the simple second law of Newton. With pulleys, you can increase the mechanical advantage if you added more pulleys. Now we are going to try to understand what is the meaning of that and what is the meaning of the concept of block and tackles, commonly used in sailboats in order to lift the sails and in order to tense the sails. Okay, right now I am going to explain the theory related with pulleys and what is the meaning of those pulleys. The first pulley is the single pulley, like this. It's a single pulley. The function of that pulley is change the direction of the force. The single pulley, exactly like the pulley that we have on the screen right now, is a pulley change the direction of the force on a rope or belt that moves along the circumference. That's the single pulley. All right, the other pulley that we have here is the movable pulley. A movable pulley has an axle in the movable block. A single movable pulley is supported by two parts of the same rope and has mechanical advantage is 2. Right now we are going to understand what is the meaning of a mechanical advantage and why is 2 or 3 or 4. And this is a compound. This is a compound. Basically, a compound is a combination of fixed and movable pulleys. That compound is also called block and tackle. A block and tackle can have several pulleys mounted on a fixed and moving axle, increasing the mechanical advantage. This is the typical block and tackle. This is the most simple block and tackle. Alright, now we are going to try to understand other type of blocks and tackles and the mechanical advantage of those. A set of pulleys assembled so they rotate independently on the same axle from the block. Two blocks with a rope attached to one of the blocks and threaded through the two sets of pulleys form a block and tackle. Like this, those are typical blocks and tackles. Blocks and tackles. Alright, and now we are going to try to understand what is the meaning of mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage. If you see that formula, this triangle is a perfect example to understand the definition of mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage is basically the ratio in between the load and the effort. This is the mechanical advantage. A single pulley is used to change the direction of the pull to lift the load. A system of pulleys is used to lift heavy loads by the mechanical advantage, increasing the length of the travel of the pull and decreasing the load. This is exactly the definition of mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage is equal to the load divided by the effort. You can consider this triangle in order to calculate the mechanical advantage in function of the load and the effort, like the first one, or the load in function of the mechanical advantage and the effort, or the effort in function of the load divided by the mechanical advantage. Those are according with this circle. Those are the typical formulas. Alright, mechanical advantage. What is the typical form, the simple way? What is the simple way to calculate the mechanical advantage? Simple. You count the number of rope segments on each side of the pulleys, including the free rope. If the free rope is going down, no count. If the free end is going up, you add it. For example, in the first picture you have 1, 2, and 3, but the free end is going down. In that case, the mechanical advantage in the first one is 2, because the number 3 is going down, no count. What about the second one? You have 1, 2, and 3 lines, but the free end is going up. The mechanical advantage is 3. That's simple. Yeah, in the second picture, because those 3 lines, the last one is going up, the mechanical advantage will be 3. In the first one, in this one, because those 3 lines, the end line, the open line is going down, the mechanical advantage will be 2. Simple. I have more examples. Let me check that one. In this one, the mechanical advantage is you have 1, 2, and 3 lines, but the open end is going down, the mechanical advantage is 2. The mechanical advantage is 2. In this one, you have 1, 2, 3 lines, and the free end is going up. The mechanical advantage will be 3. The mechanical advantage is 3, and the force to hold the weight in equilibrium is 1/3 of the total weight. Yeah, because you divide it by 3. This is the mechanical advantage of that system. Let me verify this one. Each additional figure shows another possibility of a pulley configuration. Yeah, for example, in the first one, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. But in this one, the force is going down. The mechanical advantage is 3. But in the second one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the end is going up. In that case, the mechanical advantage is 4. Simple. This is the definition to calculate mechanical advantage. I have an example. We are going to practice with this example. This rope and pulley system support 400 pounds of weight. How much is the tension in the rope necessary to hold the weight in equilibrium? How much is the tension in the rope in order to keep the load in equilibrium? Okay, the total weight is 400 pounds. Yeah, and the question is how much should be the tension in the rope in order to keep the system in equilibrium. Okay, remember the formulas? You remember those formulas? You need for example, we can use that one. Load is equal to the mechanical advantage times the effort. Mechanical advantage times the effort. Let me check. In this particular case, how much is the total weight? The total weight is 400. Yeah? Okay. I want to know the effort. The effort is, according with the formula, the effort is according with the load divided by the mechanical advantage. Okay? Is the load divided by the mechanical advantage. How much is the mechanical advantage of that system? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But the end is going down. The mechanical advantage will be 4. Okay, in this particular case, is the total load 400 divided by 4 is 100. Simple. Is 100. I have another example to practice. This one. This rope and pulley system support 75 pounds. How much tension in the rope is necessary to hold the weight in equilibrium? In this particular case, the total weight is 25 pounds. And how much is the mechanical advantage of that system? You have 1, 2, and 3 ropes, and the end is going up. The mechanical advantage in that system is 3. And the question is how much is the tension in order to keep the system in equilibrium. Alright, in this particular case is 75. The total weight is 75 pounds. In this particular case, we have that the tension is equal to the total weight divided by the mechanical advantage. Is 75 divided by 3 is 25. This is 25 and this is the answer. That's simple. This is the simple way to use the mechanical advantage and the simple way to use block and tackle. Now we are going to ask to Daciel in what situation in sailboats and catamarans we use block and tackles, and what is the mechanical advantage in those systems. Daciel, other vital component in the rigging procedure is the block and tackles.
Correct.
Where are located the most common block and tackles?
On modern boats, you're most likely always going to find them, especially on your mainsail, the one that controls the boom. Most of the time, especially in bigger boats, you're going to have a block and tackle because there's a lot of force. The whole sail, is wanting to go to one side.
Correct.
So you need to be able to bring it in and out, depending on your wind angle and where you want to go.
Correct.
Unless you have electric winches, if you don't, and you're not Hercules, you need mechanical advantage.
Wonderful, no? In this particular case, in this particular example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. The mechanical advantage is number 4.
Yeah, 4 to 1.
Oh, you multiply 4 times.
Yeah, that means for every pound of pressure that you pull the line, at the end, it's 4 pounds.
4 pounds.
So if you're pulling with 100 pounds, it's like you're pulling with
400 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
with a little bit, you lose a little bit with a
for drag.
rear friction,
Yeah.
but that's basically.
But this is in theory is this is the mechanical advantage definition, like we explained in previous episode.
Correct.
And until today, the blocks and tackles are used in new boats. No?
Yeah, and even back in the day, in the pirate time, there was no winches, so everything was done with block and tackle.
But of course, it's excellent when you combine the block and tackles with good winches, electrical.
Yes, absolutely.
That's better. That's perfect. And easy, no? Easy.
Yeah.
The system is easy. You need a special consideration of lubrication for the pulleys or something like this, or not?
Not so much. Nowadays, the materials that they use are very good materials, and they are designed to be, to work in a marine. You just have to clean them, make sure there's no dirt in them.
No, there. Yeah.
And they do have some lubrications for them, especially not so much for the block and tackle, but for the tracks.
Correct.
So they can slide.
Oh yeah.
Some dry lube that are very good, especially for the sail. You want to have that very well lubricated because it's a big sail.
Correct. Oh, wonderful. And that's it. That's the.
Yeah, it's very simple,
It's too simple.
We got 2 sets of block and tackle here. We got one that brings in the boom to the main sheet in and out, and we also have another one for the traveler, which if you can see here, the sheaves, it can move, moves the whole thing from one side to the other, and there's a mechanical advantage there as well.
And a lot of Teflon and composite materials.
Yeah.
Every day is less stainless steel. It's more composite material.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now we are going to check how is the rigging in airboat, and what type of elements are in consideration when you try to do the rigging in airboat. For airboats, we are going to visit once again the marina of Mr. Rodriguez, and we are going to check in his boat the rigging, and after that, at the end of the day, we are going to visit the Everglades to use the airboat. Danny, we are going to include it in our series, the airboats.
Yeah, this is something new in your videos. This will be good.
Okay, Danny, we are going to talk about the blades. It's an airplane, no?
Yeah, like we were talking about the prop, but now we're going to talk about the frame.
This is the leading edge.
Yep.
The trailing edge.
Yep.
That's the face, the back of the, and this is the pitch angle.
Correct.
In this particular example, in this particular motor, the angle is fixed.
This is fixed because it's an airboat, it's not an airplane.
Correct.
But even though it has an airplane motor and it has an airplane prop, it's still, because it's an airboat, it's fixed.
But I can change the pitch. No, when the motor is running.
No, only when it's off.
I remove the cap.
Yep, you loosen the coupler and then you can rotate these.
Or you change the gear ratio.
You change the gear ratio.
In between both
Right.
gears. That's simple, no?
Yep.
This is nice, no?
Yeah, this is nice. This is just like an airplane. No, this is actually an airplane motor.
It's an airplane, of
It's
course.
an airplane
This
motor.
is a Continental.
Yeah, this is actually a Lycoming.
Lycoming. That's
the
Lycoming.
engine. It's a 0435.
That's wonderful. I like it. And look at the radiator for the oil.
Yeah, that's for the cooling system, and this is a carbureted system. So you see the
it's carbureted.
is on the
and
carburetor.
the suction is in the button, no?
The
suction is in the button.
Correct.
Wonderful. This is a great boat, and it's always on the surface.
Yep, always on the surface.
I love it. This type of boats because you don't have a salt water circulating. Nothing.
There's only freshwater use anyways, but not only that, there's no circulation. It's all air cooled. That's why they have the fins.
Yeah, of course.
On the cylinders to keep the cool.
It's an airplane motor. Right. That's wonderful. And the service is nothing, no?
No, the service basically, I think you change the oil. I would change the oil probably once every year.
Yeah.
But you don't even need that.
No, of course.
And I learned something new with Glenn's airboat that you basically these take really only 9 quarts. I put 12 because that's what it says.
Yeah.
But he says the reason, and this was explained to me, which I didn't know, was the reason they put 12 quarts on the airplane is because when you're going long distance, these do consume oil, so you have enough oil for a long trip.
It's only for.
But on an airboat, you're only going 4 or 5 hours, and then that's it. But
and the rest of the boat, the hull is no through holes, no fittings, no nothing, no, because it's a flat surface.
The exhaust is straight out here.
Yeah, it's straight out.
And so that explains the blade part. And then, like I said, this is a boat.
Yeah.
But it's just an airboat.
Yeah, it's an airboat. Danny, we are going to start.
Yeah, he's gonna start it up so you can hear what it sounds like and you can see it move. And you'll see it. It's pretty loud, but it's pretty impressive how an airboat works.
The Captain Glenn.
Yeah, Captain Glenn's up front. He's gonna fire this up.
Fire.
Cuida la mano.
Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Danny, because this is the chapter for rigging, we are going to try to explain rigging in different type of boats. But this is a great scenario because it's an airboat, and the lights is similar.
Yeah, you got bow lights in the front. You have an anchor light up on the top.
Anchor light.
Same rules apply because if you're out there, if you go into the
it's
water,
a boat,
another airboat comes and needs to see you, so it's all on the regulations.
Okay, we have a navigation light on front.
Front and an anchor light up on top.
Anchor light. Okay,
right.
And exactly the same, the same degrees, 265, exactly
Correct.
the same. All right, perfect. One important consideration with the fuel tanks, they have a spare tank, or
most of them don't. On my airboat, I put a spare tank only because I want more range. I want to go further than most people can go because I like to go in areas where
normally the tank is here, no?
The tank, there's a 20-gallon tank underneath here.
Okay.
Which we can pull the cooler out and show you that, and then I put a 13-gallon tank on top.
And you put a switch valve over there.
And I have a shut-off valve that I can shut it off, turn it to tank 1, tank 2.
Ah, nice.
And then I have it goes through the rate core and then to the high pressure pump that feeds to the.
Correct.
Well, not high pressure pump, it's a low pressure pump.
Yeah, but the lifting pump.
The lift pump.
The lift pump.
And so what people have to understand is when you're putting a rate core system into the system, you never do it after the fuel pump because they're not designed to have pressure. It's only designed to hold fuel and clear fuel.
Okay.
See, and then when I purchased this airboat, it had the lift pump before the rate core, and I changed it because you're not supposed to have pressure.
Oh, can you repeat that? This is an important consideration.
So when you're doing a rate core system or any fuel filter system, you're gonna always want to put it before the fuel pump, never after. They're not designed to hold pressure.
That's very
because
important.
for one, if you have someone who doesn't replace the filter often and it gets corroded, it can blow out the rust.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're stuck.
That's
Or in my case, in this case, I have a screw on. But if you had the rate core system that had the clear bowl, you can blow out the plastic cover out, and then you're stuck out.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's why it should always be done before you put the before the fuel pump.
Great recommendation. Danny, in terms of rigging, a big difference is the gas pedal.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a throttle control like a boat.
No.
This is actually like your car, an accelerator that you actually press and the cable will move the carburetor.
And it's a regular gas pedal, no?
Yeah, it's like a regular gas pedal. Well, this is more designed for airboats, but it's not as nice as the ones in the car, but it's the same principle.
And I like the idle.
Yeah, that's the governor.
Yeah, the governor.
That's the governor.
You calibrate that one. It's nice, no? That's the maximum.
Yeah, because you don't want to go. If the problem with the airboats is if you go over certain RPMs, you'll explode the props.
Correct. This is the protection, no?
It's the protection.
Look, this is the fuse.
Yeah. Kind of like a fuse. Yeah, it just doesn't allow you to blow up the engine.
Okay, but the rest is simple. The cable goes in the back, like on the picture that we have on top, and goes into the carburetor.
And it feeds back all the way to the carburetor in the back there.
Yeah, that's too simple. That's too simple. You accelerate exactly the same like in your
car. And then every time you move that cable, you put gas into it, and you can see how it's leaking because obviously it's not running.
Yeah.
So that's why it's leaking.
Of course, yeah. But in this moment, no problem because that gas not entering the combustion chamber.
No.
It's going down. It's going down.
The only dangerous part of that is when you overflood it like that. If it backfires, it can catch on fire.
Correct. Okay.
So that's why you only accelerate when you first start it up, not right.
A little. Okay, now we are going to check the control.
Yep. Now we'll do the throttle, the driving, the steering.
The driving, yeah. Okay. Danny, drive a regular boat with the typical steering wheel. It's completely different like this, no?
Yes, this is a little tricky because you really need to know that if you're going to go this way, you're going to go right, and if you go towards the back, is left.
Oh, no. I make a mistake at the first moment.
Yeah, it's tricky, but it's just like anything else. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to do it and you understand it, there's no big deal.
What is the rule?
Well, the rule is like if you want to go right, you're going to push forward. And you're going to go this way. And then if you do it the opposite way, it's going to go the other way.
Ah, that's nice.
Just like trim tabs.
Correct. Like trim tabs.
Trim tabs. When you hit the button on this way, it's going to drop down. So you're going to go, it's going to lift this way and do the other way.
Okay, in that case, this one is?
That's going to be turns the right.
Okay, and this one?
Towards the left.
Ah, okay. This is that.
Yeah.
And this is
so
this.
So if you're going forward, you're going this way. And if you're going backwards, you're going this way.
All right, perfect.
So if you just remember that, but sometimes you put yourself in a situation you may forget. We've been there and done that.
I can't imagine me in a confusion decision. I don't like that.
It's tricky. It's like anything else. You just got to learn how to get. It's really a feel deal.
And the accelerator on the pedal.
Accelerate, right?
Okay.
See, on a boat, you turn the wheel and the boat will turn for you. Here, if you turn with this, since there's no rudder on the bottom, it's a flat surface. Then you have to give it gas to turn to do the turn.
I have a question. The position of the rudder is too sensitive to the movement of the boat?
The faster you are, the more sensitive it is.
Oh.
The slower you are, so when you're going through some like trails, you don't want to go full speed because you have little control. So you go at a comfortable speed that you still have control. But there's a lot of factors at play because sometimes if you get a lot of wind, it'll push you around. Because remember, this is a surfboard with an airplane motor on it.
Danny, the docking procedure with this?
Yeah, there's really no docking procedure. You're gonna basically you put it right up on the beach, get your truck, back it out, and then put it on. There's no docking procedure. This is basically drive it on and go.
And also put on the trailer is
yeah, and you'll see it today. We're gonna go for a ride, right?
Right,
you wanna go for a ride today?
Yeah.
So we're all gonna go for rides. We're gonna see Mr. Avido drive.
Ah, no.
Oh, we're in trouble now.